Any AV integrator knows the absolute headache of trying to push raw 4K video across a standard gigabit network. I mean, the bandwidth math simply does not work.
Right, it's just too much data.
Yeah, exactly. But today, in this custom-tailored deep dive, we are looking at how one specific piece of hardware solves that exact bottleneck. We're talking about the Atlona HW-LUMA-E4211 LumaStream networked AV encoder.
Yeah, that is definitely a mouthful of a product name, but it is an incredible device. We're actually pulling our specs today directly from HDTVSupply.
Which is a massive vendor.
Huge, yeah. They are celebrating their 25th anniversary as a global vendor for audio and video products,
Mhm.
And their catalog actually provides the perfect real-world context for why a device like this is even necessary in the first place.
Okay, let's unpack this, because looking at the E4211, it retails for about $700. And for an audience familiar with AV infrastructure, you know that encoding video is essentially an act of, like, extreme origami.
I like that extreme origami. Or like vacuum sealing a giant suitcase.
Right. Exactly. You have to take these massive, heavy video files and heavily compress them so they can travel across a local area network. And you have to do it without losing visual quality.
Which is the tricky part.
Very tricky. But for $700, this unit relies specifically on H.264 and H.265 encoding.
Which is key, yeah.
Right. So why is that specific codec worth the big price tag?
Well, what's fascinating here is how H.265, which is also known as HEVC or high-efficiency video coding, actually manages that compression mechanically. It doesn't just, arbitrarily crush the file size down.
Right. It's smarter than that.
Way smarter. It uses temporal compression. So the encoder is actually analyzing the video frame by frame. It figures out what parts of the image are actively changing and what parts are staying exactly the same.
Oh, I get it. So it only sends the data packets for the moving pixels.
Exactly. And that mechanism is what keeps the bitrate low enough to not completely paralyze your entire network, all while maintaining really pristine video quality.
Which is brilliant for bandwidth, obviously. But, I mean, I have to push back on the cost for a second. Because if we think about where all this video is actually going, here's where it gets really interesting.
The scale of these projects, yeah.
Exactly. The scale is massive. When you look at the environments these are built for in the HDTVSupply catalog, we are talking about giant video wall systems or sports bar packages designed to manage up to 160 TVs simultaneously.
It's a huge undertaking for any integrator.
Right. So if an integrator has to buy a $700 encoder for every single screen, that's over $100,000 just in encoders. How does that math possibly make sense for a commercial install?
Well, that's where it helps to clarify the network architecture. You do not put an encoder on every screen.
Oh, you don't?
No, not at all. Encoders are strictly for your sources. So, your cable boxes, your Apple TVs, your digital signage players.
Oh, okay. So you might only have like 10 sources for those 160 TVs.
Right. The encoder digitizes those 10 sources and puts them on the network. From there, much cheaper decoders at the actual displays just pull whatever stream they want from the network.
Got it. You digitize the source once and distribute it infinitely. That makes so much more sense. So by digitizing everything at the source, you're entirely bypassing the physical limitations of legacy HDMI matrix switchers, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, traditional physical switchers are a complete nightmare at this scale. I mean, HDMI cables have strict distance limits before the signal starts to degrade.
Oh, for sure. Plus, running 160 heavy cables back to one central rack just creates physical chaos behind the walls.
It really does. But AVoverIP changes the game entirely. By using that Atlona encoder to turn the video into standard network data packets, you can just route it through standard off-the-shelf network switches.
Wow.
Yeah, suddenly your video distribution is only limited by the size of your IT network.
So what does this all mean? It means the Atlona E4211 encoder isn't just a compression tool. It's the unsung technological workhorse making modern AV over IP environments possible.
Yeah, it translates the raw video into a network-friendly language so that those massive multi-screen infrastructures can actually scale flawlessly.
It's the foundation of the whole system.
It really is. But as video distribution merges completely with standard IT infrastructure, this raises an important question. When every single AV source and display in a corporate office or a massive stadium becomes an endpoint on a local area network, how do we secure them?
Oh, wow. That is a terrifying thought.
It is. Because the next time you are sitting in a sports bar surrounded by dozens of perfectly synchronized screens, remember that it's not just a video system anymore. That's a massive, vulnerable data network hiding in plain sight.